Hello, my friend. I hope you are well, and I should be live coming to you on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Probably if you're sitting in your balcony or porch, I'm coming via your radio to you. No, I'm joking. I haven't got there yet. So today, another Tuesday talk, and I'll be talking about circle of influence. You know that in my Tuesday talks, I always have a conversation about building your executive presence and what that means, and what we do about it, and what are the things that we don't do. It's a topic that I am passionate about. I study that, I research it, I practice it, I teach it, I coach, and as you can see, I talk about it. Today's topic, circle of influence, is a very important topic because um, you might have experienced and been in various scenarios that this topic comes up. So today is a good investment of your time if you have seen or experienced one of these scenarios. If you have been exploring higher profile roles, and by higher profile roles, I don't mean necessarily a bigger title or bigger pay. It might be something that is with a bigger decision making scope. It's a bigger team or some more interesting project. Basically, higher profile role means something that you are excited about it. And it could be anything. It needs to be exciting to you, for you. So, if you have been thinking about higher profile roles, you have probably looked into leadership, and the concept of influence comes up quite often. The second scenario is that if you have seen some people in your organizations or in your social network that whenever they enter the room, when they talk, people listen. When they make a suggestion, is most likely the one that we go ahead with. People seek their opinion, or you generally know if they are behind something, that thing will move forward faster. So today I'll be basically reverse engineer this. So we will look at two things. First, we'll look at what are the signs that when you see them, you know someone is an influential person, and also you can observe them in yourself. The second part is about the characteristics, approach, and activities that these type people will do. So if we know the signs and we know activities, we can make a connection. Simple. I have been coaching and teaching and working with more than 1,000 executives and senior leaders and managers in multiple industries in last 4, 5, 6 years. And though I'm always in a space of transformation and business acceleration, I have been able to find patterns. And I also have backed it up with research and looking at literature to find out, okay, what I've seen, how does that appear in research? So there are a lot of things that we can learn, unpack, and then implement to be able to first find out how wide is our circle of influence. Is it as big as my shadow in the sun in a daylight? Or it goes beyond my company, beyond my community, or a little bit wider and wider. Why I'm so passionate about this topic and why I spend a lot of time on this is because I believe our management practices are outdated and they belong to industrial era or even further back. they belong to sometimes slavery. You can find the traces. So, if we want to create a better future, if we want to create something that is exciting and we want to look forward to, we do need to develop new types of leaders, people that are capable, but also caring about the people and the planet that we are. So, if we bring these two things together, caring and capable and driven together, we will be able to safeguard our future, create businesses, constructs, and communities that they truly have considered all aspects of our living and our life. So it's not just about making money, or it's not just being about um, creating and protecting and being just kind and soft. Traditionally, these two things are so separate and mutually exclusive. And I believe when you put two mutually exclusive things together, the things that nobody thinks about, like merging and putting together or combining, you will have extraordinary things. So I'm on a mission to develop, train, coach, work with um, senior leaders, those who can take us to the future and bring these two aspects, consciousness and capability, together. And that's the core reason behind what I do. Once we develop these type of leaders and they are in decision-making positions, they will be able to design new products, new services that or new businesses that doesn't harm anything. Not only doesn't harm anything, but also the business grows, the prosperity is there, as well as care and attention to what's happening in our environment, in our space. So looking at leadership, developing these type of leaders, and the concept of influence, the two topics that I will explore are the signs of someone being a leader and having the influence. And second one is the three major traits or the way they operate, and then we will connect them. So I'm going to go off with a list of things that you will look and you'll see, all right. First one, people will come to you for something personal, not work related, personal. And here's the phrases that you will normally hear. Oh, I was wondering if you have time for a coffee. Is that all right if I talk to you after hours? It's not about work, but it's something personal that I wanted to share with you and get your view on. So see, these phrases shows the person that they come to, it's more than the job or 9 to 5 aspect of life in the corporate or in the career. It's something that people come to for personal matters. Another example is when someone that is senior to you stops by and says, I was wondering if I can run something by you. Can I get your view on this one? These phrases show that firstly, they know you exist. Second, they know what you're good. Third, they have gone out of their way to come to you and ask a question or just, share something with you. Another example, a tiny sign that shows your circle of influence is wider than just your authority at work. When you call someone and you say, hey, have you got 15 minutes for me? Hey, have you got 5 minutes for me? And the answer is, for you, of course. You would know that you have gone beyond your scope of work. Another example, another tiny sign that you know Your circle of influence is probably wider than what you think. If you ask for a referral or connection or introduction, and they say, sure, let me connect you to so and so, that's the time you would know you have that influence. So, depending if they are in your organization or wider or in a community, you can decide what's the size of this circle of influence because it's an invisible thing. How can you decide, am I an influential person or not? These are the little signs that you need to observe. You normally observe them in others, or and you can observe them in yourself to see, how frequently someone comes to me for advice, or how frequently someone comes to me for brainstorming, or can I take you for a coffee and get your view on something? These are the signs that you need to look for. So now, let's look at three traits, approaches that you would see these type people, influential people, exhibit. Number one, they are really good at what they do in terms of their knowledge and expertise. And they're known for that. And this is talked about quite often, that you need to know your job well. All right. Whatever it's been your task to, whatever you're responsible to, you're doing a flat out fantastic job on that. That's the first one. Second one, which is a little bit more subtle, is that these people are thought leaders in a specific topic. And it might not necessarily be about their own work, but there is always something that they follow, some sort of trend, some sort of new topic, or something that they spend a lot of time outside their immediate task, and they will research that, talk about that. You would see in types of posts that they send out, in terms of when they open a meeting, they always refer to that. You can see they are invested in something beyond their 9 to 5. That is another element. Third one, and probably I should have put this one first, ability to do conflict resolution. In this day and age, in the companies that we work in, the environment that we are, conflict doesn't look like a brother and sister pulling each other's hair. It also doesn't look like two people are standing on two sides of the field and trying to shoot and doing a duel. A lot of time, it's very subtle and it's very politically phrased. However, you do know that in business word, we use, instead of using word conflict, we use misalignment. And here are some of the phrases that we hear. I think we are talking cross purpose. We need to take it offline. I immediately know something is not right. Or they say, that's an interesting point. Let me take it offline. Let us take it offline and I'll get back to you. I immediately know there is something not aligned. There's some sort of unspoken conflict. So influential people are the ones that they can detect, recognize, call out, and resolve these type unspoken misalignment or conflicts, and they can move people forward to the next thing. If there's a fight over the ownership of the data asset, and we still need to refresh our entire reporting system, we can bring two people from two departments or two business units and talk about, okay, regardless of the ownership of this data asset, what do we need to do? What do we need to offer to our customers? And how can we move forward? The same applies if two of your kids are fighting. You just bring them together. Okay, given this is the thing and this is the thing, can we come up with a way to share this, whatever toy it is? Principles are the same. Ability to move people forward and offer alternative solutions. It's one of the key things that influential people are able to do that. So now, let's connect those signs that we had at the very beginning and the three main characteristics, or three capabilities, I should say. People come to them for personal matters. People come to them for getting their thoughts and ideas. And when influential people contact, other people will make time for them. If you map them, reverse engineer, you can see there's a direct correlation. I suppose you can, being an engineer girl, you can take the girl out of engineering world, but you can't take the engineering out of the girl. Yeah. So I always make, it's not a one-to-one relationship, it's many-to-many relationship, but there is correlation. So this is about you understanding what are the signs and probably getting a sense of, okay, what is my circle of influence? But how do we widen this? How do we go beyond our 9-to-5 job? How do we go beyond our neighbors and friends and social space and widen that? That's the topic that comes out of networking events and going a little bit wider. And for that, my friend, I've designed a specific workshop that I'm going to run it on 27th, 28th, and 29th of September this month. And in that 1.5 hours, I teach methods that shows how you can, with modesty and integrity, show to a wider circle, bigger group, what you are capable, what you can do for them, and how you can add value. And when I talk about networking, this is not about after hours drinking in events that you don't know anyone and you have to make an awkward conversation with someone just because you have to be there and just network. This is about making lifelong friends that you know each other and you know what each one of you can do. And that's where opportunities start coming your way. And you go from being a seeker to a curator. Because when people know what you're good at and how you operate and how you can move things forward and just bring some sort of harmony and, creating some sort of flow and momentum, people will send opportunities your way. So in this workshop that I'm running on 27th, 28th, and 29th of September, I unpack all of those topics and I go step by step. And these are the things that I have learned from master networkers. And I'm trying to implement and I am practicing them as well. But they are very interesting, very different view on networking, new age networking, and it has nothing to do with like large events or the things that we traditionally know of networking. So let me connect all the points that I had since the beginning so we can close the loop and looking at circle of influence and what's the meaning of that. Leadership roles tightly associated with ability to influence. We looked at the signs and we looked at the main capabilities. We made a connection between these signs and capabilities. And then we use those signs to decide where we are at and what are the possible actions that we can take to be seen as an influencer, to gain that skill, to become that person. Because it's totally a skill and it's learnable. Everything is learnable anyway. It's just it takes how long it takes and how much energy you want to put into it. Then we talked about widening the circle by starting making connections, meaningful connections, and being able to be of service for a wider group. Well, my friend, that was the conversation that I was thinking to have with you today. Thank you so much for staying with me. I will see you next week, Tuesday, same time and same place. Have a lovely day.